That's the deal. Okay? So while waiting for the other participants to join us here, I would like to test my share screen first, whether you can see it or not. Okay. Right. So today we will focus on listening. Okay, as you know that there are 3 sections in Toefl ITP test. It starts from listening and then followed by structure and written expression, and the test finishes with reading comprehension. So we will spend the whole day discussing strategies or tips about how to approach listening Toefl test, what you need to know, what you need to anticipate, and well, basically what you need to do during the listening test. So let me share first. Let me try to share my screen first to you, whether it works or not. Hi.
Morning, Sir.
Good morning, Ibu Aida.
Sir.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you, Sir.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, that's good. Now I would like to try something else. Did you get the listening practice exercise materials that I gave to Ibu Yuni last night? Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
good.
sir.
I would like to try the audio first. So tell me if you can listen to the audio file clearly or not. So I'm advising you to put on your headset so it will be easier, it will be clearer for you to listen to the audio file. Okay? Give me 1 second. S.Pd. So I'm going to share my audio screen and let's see if you can hear it clearly. Share sign. Okay, so try to listen first. I'm playing it now.
TOEFL Exercise 14. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question in the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should remember that a wish implies an opposite meaning. Number 1.
Can you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right, it's perfect. Everything is perfect. Right, so you can see my presentation slides and you can listen to my audio files. So we are ready to go. How many participants already here? 20 participants. So I think let's just give another 5 minutes for the other participants to join us. While waiting for them, okay, anything you would like to ask about this program, about the test, anything at all, please. Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Ibu Ada, you are muting yourself.
Okay, sure. I want to question. For
Okay.
the session, I need 2 units, sir. So we can, maksudnya kami bisa mengikuti kedua unit ini, sir? Unit
course.
siang.
Yes. Yes. Morning session and then afternoon session.
Okay,
So
sure.
you are supposed to join both sessions every day from Monday to Friday this week.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, because it's progressive. So for example, for this morning session, we discuss around 6 skills, skill 1 until skill 6, and then the afternoon session we will begin from skill number 7. Okay, is that clear?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
About material, sir?
Material?
Any different session morning and session afternoon?
No, it's just afternoon session is to continue morning session.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. So material, I gave 2 books to Ibu Yuni last night. Hopefully you have got the 2 books with you. Okay, you have downloaded the 2 books. The first book, it's a very useful book for you to practice by yourself, independent practice. And if you have any questions while you are practicing using that book, the blue book, I'm going to share first. Okay, so you can see which book I'm talking about. Okay, sharing again. Okay, have you downloaded this book? I gave it to Ibu Yuni last night.
Have, sir.
Not
have?
yet, sir.
Not yet, you have to, okay? It's
Okay.
not that big, okay? It's not that big, the size. So, TOEFL exam essentials. Well, unfortunately, I don't have the audio file for the listening section, but you can still use this book for the structure and written expressions and for the reading comprehension. If I'm not mistaken, there are also entities provided in this book. Okay, so it's a great book for you to practice by yourself. All right, it's like additional material, extra material. So this is the first book I shared with Ibu Yuni, and then the other book, it's a very simple book to use. Where is that? Okay, so Test Taker Handbook. Have you downloaded this book?
Sir.
Yes, that's good. This is also, another extra practice exercise material that you can use, okay, to practice, definitely. Well, that's why it's practice exercise material to practice by yourself. And there are also entities, and again, unfortunately, I don't have the audio file for this book. Okay, so still you can use the structure and written expression. It's not a complete test, but if you also have time, You can also try to read, how to fill in the answer sheet, and then what you need to fill in so you can get yourself familiar with the procedure, for the TOEFL ITP test. So yeah, this is a much simpler book compared to the previous one. Okay. And then another thing I would like to show you is the, let me share again. Okay, so this is the listening practice exercise material that we are going to use in the afternoon session if we have the time. If we don't have the time, then we will use this material tomorrow morning. All right? Am I talking too fast? Hello? Have you downloaded this material? This listening practice exercise material?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I think it's more ideal if you print it out, right? If you can, it is a lot better. Okay, if you can print it out. So we will use this material. We'll use this material later in the afternoon session if we have the time. If we don't, then we can do it tomorrow morning. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's good. Okay. Okay. So, any questions, please? Hello? Anything you would like to ask?
No, sir.
No?
No,
What
sir.
about the others? Okay, what about the others? Please say something so I know you are here with me.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, then. Now we'll begin the training. How many? So still 20 participants, 21 participants, including me. Well, I think it's better to begin now, not to waste any more time. Right. Okay, listening. So this is the very first section in the TOEFL ITP test. That's the very first thing that, the very first thing that you have to do. Okay, listening. So what is the listening practice exercise. Sorry, not the listening test. So first, to understand what listening test is, and I believe almost all of you here have done the test, the Toefl test before, but I think it's necessary for me to remind you that before you sit the test, you need to make yourself familiar with the procedures, with the instructions. Now, the general strategy here for the listening is you need to be familiar with the directions. So directions on every Toefl test are the same. So if you are familiar with the directions, every single direction in every single section of the Toefl ITP test, so you don't need to spend the time reading the directions carefully when you take the test. So you do not need to waste your time. You can instead focus yourself on the questions themselves. Therefore, be familiar with the directions before the day of the test. And then the second strategy that you can do is listen carefully to the passages. Concentrate fully on what the speakers are saying on the recording, because you will hear the recording one time only. So for those who have taken the test before, you have to give yourself 1,000%, not even 100% during the listening test. Okay, you can only listen one time. You cannot ask the test supervisor or whatever we say, the test invigilator to play the audio one more time, to repeat the audio. Well, that is just impossible. So give yourself 1,000% while listening to while listening to the question. And for the Toefl listening test, particularly section 3, well, beginning from section 2 actually, it begins with small talk and then long talk and then lecture something. And you need to remember what they are talking about. Okay? And then know where the easier and the more difficult questions are generally found. Within each part of the listening comprehension section on the paper test, the questions generally progress from easy to difficult. So section 1, the first part of the listening test is definitely easier than the second part. And the third part of the listening test is considered the most difficult one. Okay, and then within each part, the difficulty level is also progressing. I mean here, in the first part, there are, well, let's say several numbers of questions. So the first number is a lot easier if you compare to number 10, question number 10. Okay, and then be familiar with the pacing of the test. You have 12 seconds between each question on the recording. So you must answer each question within 12 seconds. Okay, within 12 seconds, and then be prepared for the next question on the recording. What does it mean? It means here, once the speakers finish talking, and then the narrator or the question sayer will ask you a question. For example, speaker A talks, and then speaker B talks. And then after that, the question sayer will say, what does, for example, okay, what does the man mean? And then start from, what does the man mean? At the end of the question, it starts from the end of the question, and you have 12 seconds to choose which answer is the best answer. 12 seconds only. Okay? Do not continue thinking which question is the correct answer if the next question already begins. If the next question already begins, you have to focus on the next question. Forget the previous question. So if you cannot get the answer to number 1 within 12 seconds, and then number 2 already begins, forget it. Focus on number 2. Okay? It's not good for you to sacrifice number 2 because you want to spend more time thinking about number 1. It's not good. Now, so what should you do next? Should you leave number 1 blank, no answer? Well, my best advice is guess. Okay? Just guess. Perhaps you still remember some details about number 1, and then try to guess which one based on your memory, which one is the best answer. Okay, so just guess. Do not leave any answer blank on your answer sheet because there is no minus score. Okay, if it is incorrect, then it is incorrect. You will get 0, not -1, for example. So no penalty for wrong answers. So don't leave any answer blank. And then use any remaining time to look ahead at the answers to the questions that follow. When you finish one question, you may have time to look ahead at the answer to the next question. Yeah, there is, if you have remaining time, then use that time to look ahead at the answer to the questions that follow. Okay? Do not go back, do not go back and then try to reconsider the answer you gave to the previous question. That is no use. It's better for you to focus on the next question. Any questions, please? Hello?
No, sir.
What is it? Anything you would like to ask?
No, sir.
No? Yang lainnya gimana? Anything you would like to, any questions, please? Anything?
I think that's so. No, sir. I think that's so clear, sir.
All right, that's very good. Okay, so listening comprehension for TOEFL test. I think you know this too, but better for me to remind you. 4 types, okay? Divided into 4 types. Short dialogue consists of 2 to 4 line dialogue. So 2 line dialogues, it means person A, 1 line, person B, 1 line, and then the question. Okay, or 4 line dialogues, person A, person B, person A, person B, and then the question between 2 speakers. Each dialogue is accompanied by a context-setting visual and is followed by 1 multiple choice question. So the multiple choice question usually consists of 4 options. Okay, A, B, C, D. You will listen to each short dialogue as you see a context-setting visual on the screen. Then you will listen to a question as you see the question and 4 answer choices A, B, C, D on the screen. The 11 to 17 short dialogues and questions about them make up part A on the computer TOEFL test. So I believe this is also the same in the paper TOEFL ITP test. So that is part A. Okay, and then casual conversation consists of 5 to 7 line conversations on casual topics, nothing academic. So just like when you are meeting with your friends at a cafe, in a restaurant, for example, at a mall. Okay, so two friends meeting in a mall, okay, and they have a conversation. The topic is casual, nothing academic, nothing about a lecture or something, okay? And then each conversation is accompanied by a context-setting visual and is followed by 2 or 3 multiple choice questions. You will listen to each casual conversation as you see the question and the 4 answer choices on the screen. The 2 to 4 conversations and the questions that accompany them are found in part B on the computer TOEFL test, and pretty much the same in the paper test. So first, short dialogue and then casual conversation. So, okay, I think let's just go to the next slide before saying what I usually do when I do the test. Now, so first, short dialogue. And then after short dialogue, casual conversation, which is a bit longer than the short dialogue. Okay, a bit longer. Short dialogue, 2 to 4 lines dialogue. Meanwhile, casual conversation, 5 to 7 line conversations or dialogue. Now, after casual conversations, we have academic discussion. Now, this is nothing, well, it's nothing casual anymore. It's not casual anymore, okay? Academic discussions, it can be a conversation between 2 or 3 students talking about the subject that they are going to have lectured by Professor A or Professor B, for example, or 2 or 3 students talking about the assignment that has just been given to them by the professor. Okay, so consists of 120 until 150-second discussions on academic topics by 2 to 5 speakers, even until 5 speakers. So you can imagine the level of difficulty of this part, okay? Because if there are 5 speakers, you need to remember who is talking about what. What is A talking about? What is B talking about? What is C talking about? And what is D and E? What are D and E talking about? You need to remember each person, what each person is talking about. So each discussion is accompanied by a number of context settings. Again, the same here, the same as the casual dialogue. And then, so still found in part B. So part B can be casual topics, can be academic topics. Now, and then we have here academic lectures. Still the same here, 120, 150-second lectures, university professor. Now, the difference between number 3 and number 4 here, academic discussions, usually a conversation by students talking about the subject they just had or the assignment they just got from their professor. While academic lectures here is, just like you attending a lecture, sitting in a classroom, listening to your lecture. Okay, so you are listening to a lecture conducted by a university professor. So you are listening to this university professor explaining about the topic. The topic can be about biology, can be about economy. It depends, but you don't have to be afraid. For example, if you are Bahasa English students, okay, English education students, and the professor is talking about biology, and then you are afraid that you will not be able to understand the topic. No, it's not true. Okay, it is not true, because even though it is an academic lecture and the professor is talking about biology, for example, you can still understand what the professor is talking about, because it is still a bit, well, I can say it is still rather general, okay, the content. The thing the professor is talking about, is explaining about, it is still understandable, even though you are not biology, students learning biology. Okay? Am I talking about myself here? Anything you would like to ask, please? I'm speaking fast here because this is just, to remind you about the listening, general strategies. What can you see? What can you expect in the first one here, the short dialogue, the first type? What can you expect in casual conversation? What can you expect from academic discussions, and what can you expect from academic lectures? So that's why I'm explaining it really fast, because I know almost all of you have done the test before. Okay, this is just to remind you. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Don't just keep the questions yourself. Okay? Feel free to ask me. Don't be afraid. Just ask.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl, for the explanation. So I want to question, how about the trick is to answer the listening session, sir?
Okay, that's a very good question, Ibu Aida. We will talk about the trick or the tip that we can use while doing the listening test. That is a very good question, but we will talk about the tip or the trick later, after this, right after this. Okay, thank you. What's next? Hello, there are how many participants here? 22 participants. Only Ibu Aida is asking questions. Come on. You have no questions because you understand, or you understand already, or too afraid to ask questions, or it's not important for you, what I have just explained to you here.
It's clear enough for me, sir.
Okay, that's very good. If it is clear enough for you.
Me too, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the response. All right, so I think that is representative enough. 3 people responding. Now, short dialogue. Okay, spend some time reading this first. Okay, spend some time reading this first. Short dialogue. What is short dialogue? Wait a minute. Give me 1 minute, please. Okay, so short dialogue, as we discussed before, found in part A in the listening comprehension section of the paper Toefl test. For each of the 30 short dialogues, so there are 30 short dialogues. Can you imagine how bored you will be listening to so many dialogues in the test? But you have to, you have no choice. Okay, for each of the 30 short dialogues in this part of the text, you will hear a two-line dialogue. So as I can see here, as I can said before, uh, you know, person A, person B, or man, woman. One line, another line. Only two-line dialogue between two speakers, followed by a multiple choice question. After you listen to the dialogue and the question, you must choose the best answer to the question from your textbook. Look at the example of a short dialogue here from a paper Toefl test. On the recording you hear, have you finished studying for the math test? Not quite. What does the woman mean? In your textbook, okay, you only hear this. It is not written in your textbook. In your textbook, you only see this, okay, these multiple choice questions. You will read, she is quite finished with her studies. She thinks it is quite a difficult test. She has a little more studying to do, or she has not finished the math test. So the answer based on this, what do you think the correct answer?
D, sir.
Based,
D.
excuse me, B or D, Ibu Aida?
D, sir.
B,
D.
D, sir.
A, dodol.
Dodol. Udah lama saya Bu Aida nggak dengar. Dodol ya Bu Aida ya?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, yeah, that is the correct answer here. Have you finished studying for the math test? Not quite. She has not finished the math test. Now, regarding about Ibu Aida's question, what is the tip or the trick
Tips.
we can do during the listening test? For me, okay, how can I say? Once I am allowed to open the question booklet, sebaik saya diizinkan membuka question booklet, I will go right away to the first, question, okay? Without even waiting, okay, without even waiting for the supervisor, without even listening to what the supervisor is saying. I mean, sudah diizinkan, we are allowed, so we open the question booklet and then just go to the first question. If you can, as many questions as you can. Aduh, low bat laptop saya. Ya harus bisa. Wait a minute. Okay. Saya harus geser kursi. Meja. Saya mute dulu sebentar ya. All right, it's a little exercise in the morning. So anyway, once I am allowed to open the question booklet, I go and read as many questions as I can. Saya langsung membaca and understand as many numbers as I can before the narrator or the question sayer say number one. Jadi sebaik dibilang number one, baru saya balik kembali ke number one and focus on number one. So what do I do, when reading as many numbers of questions as I can? I read, okay, well, that's why reading, okay? I read every single option here. Try to understand, read quickly, okay? So here, this is what you see in your textbook, all right? So I read every single option and then try to see the one option which is different from the others. Jadi option yang berbeda daripada option yang lain. Okay, here as you can see here, A, B, and C, she's quite finished. A and C, she's quite finished, and she has a little more studying to do. So she's quite finished, so finished, and then she has a little more studying to do. Well, not finished. Well, she needs more study, which is out of context. And then B here, she thinks it's quite difficult test because you see here test, and then we have test here. And then quite, because here quite here, the woman said quite, so she's quite finished. She thinks it is quite again quite a difficult test here. She has a little more studying here. The man said studying to do. Well, these options A, B, and C contain words that are spoken by both men and women. Okay, so D is the best, even though it doesn't contain the word the man and the woman. Well, not all. Well, we still have tests here. Okay, so that's what I do. I try to see what the differences between every option here. Okay, I try to see, well, this is quite finished, difficult test, more studying to do, not finished. And then the recording, number one, and then I go back to number one and then listen to the recording and then get the answer. Okay, so that's the general thing I do. So once I am allowed to open the question booklet, I try to understand as many numbers as I can. Usually I can only understand three numbers at once, maybe sometimes two numbers. Then I go back to number one right away. Okay. Now, so these are the detailed procedures for the short dialogue. As you listen to each short dialogue, focus on the second line of the conversation. Nah, ini setelah kita listening to the recording. Tadi yang saya bilang, setelah saya diizinkan untuk membuka question booklet, buku tesnya, saya berusaha membaca dan mengerti sebanyak questions as I can. Yang saya bisa mengerti, biasanya saya bisa membaca 1, 2, atau 3 nomor. Okay? Sebelum naratornya itu mengatakan, now listen to number one. Setelah saya mendengar, now listen to number one, saya balik kembali langsung fokus ke number one. Tidak melanjutkan apa yang saya lakukan. Nah, sekarang pada saat listening, when you are listening to the short dialogue, okay? As you remember, short dialogue contain of 2-line dialogue. So you need to focus, tapi bukan berarti tidak mengabaikan yang line pertama, okay? You need to focus on the second line of the conversation, okay? Still, you have to listen to the first line, but focus more on the second line because the answer to the question is generally found in the second line. Generally, not always, okay? That's why you need to focus more on the second one. But don't forget to still, to also listen to the first line. And then keep in mind that the correct answer is probably a restatement of a keyword or idea in the second line of the dialogue. You focus on the second line, and then the answer is a restatement, is a paraphrase of the second line of the dialogue. Jadi jawaban yang benar itu biasanya dituliskan dengan kalimat yang sedikit berbeda tapi maknanya tetap sama. Restatement. Think of possible restatement. Balik lagi back to the example here. The woman said not quite. Okay. So even though option D doesn't contain quite, but based on the question here, have you finished studying for the math test? And then the woman said not quite. Well, even there is no quite here in option D, it still has the same meaning as what the woman says. Okay, she has not finished the math test. Don't choose B because it contains quite, because the meaning of option B is definitely totally different from what the woman said here. Okay, a restatement. Almost always, probably a restatement. And then keep in mind that certain structures and expressions are tested regularly in the short dialogue. It means if you keep practicing, okay, by yourself after this training program, okay, and you have some materials and you have the audio files, okay, if you keep practicing and you can see that, okay, certain structures, certain expressions are always used in the test. It's just, the dialogue changed a little bit, okay? So listen to these structures and expressions. So these structures can be restatements, these structures can be negative, suggestions, passive, to, and where, and agreement. So almost always around these structures and expressions. Just, tiny, small changes, okay? But almost always about this. Restatement, negative, suggestion, passive, to and where, and agreement. And then keep in mind that these questions generally progress from easy to difficult. Well, this is what we discussed before. This means that questions 1 through 5 will be the easiest, and questions 26 through 30 will be the hardest. Okay, I think this is, you know this already. And then read the answers and choose the best answer to each question. Remember, answer each question even though you're not sure. It means do not leave any questions blank. Okay, guess or use your instinct. For example, even if you don't understand what the speakers are saying, okay, just guess. All right. So use your instinct. Which one do you think is the best? Use your instinct. Do not leave any question blank. All right. Who knows? Maybe it is one of your lucky days. Who knows? And then here we have, even if you do not understand the complete dialogue, you can still find the correct answer. Okay, even if you have to guess, all right? Even if you only understand a few words or ideas in the second line, choose the answer that contains a restatement of those words or ideas. So I ask you to focus on the second line. Okay, so the answer is generally on the second line, but The answer is a restatement of the second line. Okay, not exactly the same word, a restatement. Different word, but the same meaning. If you did not understand anything at all in the second line of the dialogue, choose the answer that sounds the most different from what you heard. Okay, so the answer that sounds the most different. This is what I I talked about just now. Okay, I I when I read the options, I try to see which option is different from the most different from the others if I compare. So for example, oh, option A is totally different from option C, B, C, and D. So B, C, and D, they contain the same meaning or they contain the same word. While option A, I'm suspicious. Option A looks suspicious. It does not contain any words that are used in option B, C, and D. And the meaning is totally different from option B, C, and D. Probably option A is your best guess. Jadi, tebak saja. Maybe option A is the answer. Okay? Never choose an answer because it sounds like, oh ini the grammatically incorrect here. Saya menyiapkannya dalam waktu 2 jam. Okay, it sounds like what you heard in the dialogue. So never choose an answer because it sounds like what you heard in the dialogue. You still remember here, okay? Because here quite, because studying here and then finish, and then A here quite finish, and then here we have quite test because here we have test, and then studying, okay, studying because here. Okay, and then you know, option A, B, and C, they use the words that are used by the speakers. So while option D, well, only one word, and and option D here definitely looks different if we compare to options A, B, and C. So again, never choose an answer because it sounds like what you heard in the dialogue. Choose what is most different. Be prepared for the next question. Again, I'm warning you, okay? I'm warning you. If you have to guess, do not spend too much time guessing, okay? You have only 12 seconds between questions. Sebaik si narrator mengatakan, now listen to number 2. Lupakanlah itu number 1. Focus on number 2. Forget number 1. It's not worth it, okay? If you keep thinking about number 1, your mind, your focus will be distracted for number 2. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right. So now let's focus. Let's be more focused. Okay. Short conversation strategy. Focus on the last line here. On the recording, you hear Billy. Oh, Billy really made a big mistake this time. Yes, he forgot to turn in his research paper. What does the woman say about Billy? He forgot to turn in his research paper. So turn in, synonymous to submit. Okay. Now, definitely option D is the correct answer. Option A says it was the first time he made a mistake. Just because you hear mistake, the man said mistake, and then, well, actually only mistake here. Okay, he forgot to write his paper. This is a very good trap. Ini jebakan Batman yang sangat-sangat bagus. He forgot to write his paper. Here, the woman said he forgot to turn in his research paper. Can you see here? Forgot, and then paper, his. And then just because of turn in, and then we have here write. They are totally different in meaning. Okay, I think most participants, I think not really most, but I believe a significant number of participants will choose this. Okay, B. And then he turned in the paper in the wrong place. Now, this is also, look at this option here. Turn in, the same. Paper. So don't get trapped, okay? Forgot, and then look at this option here. Didn't remember. Restatement. Turn in, submit. That is synonym. Research paper, assignment, synonym. So the whole thing, the whole sentence here is a restatement of what the woman said. So choose the one that is very different from line 2. Very different. Okay?
Okay,
Hello?
sir.
All right.
Get it, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
okay, very good. So focus on the last line. It probably contains the answer to the question. Listen. Well, again, I'm warning. Well, I'm saying here, you focus on the last line. It doesn't mean you don't need to listen to the first line. No, that's crazy. Okay. So you still listen to the first line, but focus on the second line because the second line usually contains the answer. Okay, if you don't understand it, don't worry because it probably does not contain the answer. The first line probably does not contain the answer. Okay, so focus on the second line. Still, you need to listen to the first line. Be ready to focus on the last line of the conversation because it probably contains the answer. Repeat the last line. If you have a good memory, okay, repeat the last line in your mind as you read through the answer in the text. So that's the strategy. Focus on the last or the second line. Now, answers with synonym. As you listen to the last line of the dialogue, focus on keywords in that line. Okay, so this is also applicable here. Forgot, didn't remember, turn in, submit, research paper, assignment, synonym. Okay, so if you see any synonyms for keywords in a particular answer, then you have probably found the correct answer. Okay, because the answers are usually a restatement of the second line, a restatement. So how can we make a restatement? Well, one of the ways is by using synonyms. Now, for example here, why is Barbara feeling so happy? Well, she just started working in a real estate agency. What? She just started working in a real estate agency. What does the man say about Barbara?
B.
Ayo.
The answer is
Began-
B. She began a new
Began a
job.
new job.
Pakai apa tadi seperti Ibu Aida, dodol atau bola?
Bola,
Bola,
sir.
bola, sir.
Bola.
The answer is bola.
Bola.
ini gara-gara Ibu Aida ini ya. Okay, yes, it is B. Okay, bravo. Right. She began a new job. Started working, began a new job. Not, she always liked her work in real estate. Real estate, karena di sini ada real estate, ada working here, sini work. And then in a real estate again, real estate, but here bought, definitely, opposite. And then bought here a real estate agency. So C and D are synonymous. Well, cannot choose C and D. She bought a real estate agency. They are synonymous. So impossible. Okay. So 50-50 now. She always liked her work in a real estate agency, or she began a new job. Definitely B, because A still sounds like the second line. Yang A masih mirip dengan second line. Okay, so something different. Next, please. Avoid similar sounds. The previous one, avoid synonyms. Now avoid similar sounds. Why couldn't Mark come with us? He was searching for a new apartment. What does the woman say about Mark? Apartment. And then di sini ada department, apartment. Oh, barangkali department, tapi I didn't hear it. And then you become unsure about the answer. And then he was looking for a place to live. He was working in her research project, searching, research. Ya, hampir sama. He had an appointment again because of men, church, same, well, similar sound, okay? Church, men, apartment here. Well, don't choose them, okay? Choose the one with no similar sound. He was looking for a place to live. Apartment is a place to live. Okay, looking for is the phrasal verb, the synonym of searching. All right, avoid similar sounds. Now, draw conclusions about who, what, and where. I think you know who is talking, what will she or he probably do next, where does the dialogue probably take place. Now, on the recording, you say, can you tell me what assignment I missed when I was absent from your class? You missed one homework assignment and a quiz. Okay? Who is the man? You missed one homework. So you are, I think this is mistyped here. Just ignore it. Okay? You missed one homework assignment. In your textbook you read, so you need to conclude, okay? Harus dapat bisa menyimpulkan siapakah the second speaker. Who? It cannot be a newspaper editor, because here you hear assignment and then class and then homework and then another assignment. Police officer. Well, the most probable answer is a teacher. Okay, so you need to be able to conclude about who, what, and where. Okay. How about this? Are you going to read those books here in the library? I think I'd rather check them out now and take them home. Check them out now. What does it mean? Check them out now. Apa artinya? Check them out now. Anyone?
Memeriksa.
Memeriksa. Hati-hati dengan phrasal verb. Phrasal verb maksudnya kata kerja tambah preposition. Nah, kalau kata kerja ditambah preposition artinya sudah sangat memungkinkan, artinya berubah sangat berbeda dengan arti kata kerja itu sendiri tanpa preposition. Not memeriksa.
Meminjam, sir.
Meminjam. Okay, very good. Check them out now. Meminjam di library seperti apa? Ya, kita bagaimana meminjam, prosedur meminjam di library. How can you borrow a book in a library? Can you just take the book home?
No.
You put it in your bag?
No,
No,
You
sir.
keep
sir.
it in your bag? No, of course not. And I'm not suggesting you to do that, no. So, how do you borrow a book from a library? You take the book to?
Return the book to the shop.
Maybe it means you must report.
To the librarian or to the receptionist, if we can say, right? And then the receptionist will record the book, and then after finished, you can take the book out, okay, or you can take the book home. Now the receptionist, the librarian, is usually located what we call in English circulation desk. Oke, disitulah semuanya buku dicatat, termasuk identitas si peminjam. Okay, the identity of the borrower or the student. Sit down in the library? No. What will the man probably do next? So you need to be able to conclude what? Okay, look for some more books. Nah, ini look for ini, kalau tadi katanya check out ini memeriksa, bisa jadi terperangkap memilih option D, bola. Okay, look for some more books, because look for, it means memeriksa. Sementara memeriksa itu hanya check. Okay, check out, different. Return the books to the shelf. Ini opposite dari check out. Okay, return the books to the shelf. Go to the circulation desk. Nah, ini benar-benar berbeda. It's totally different from line 2. Nothing here. So choose the one that is different. Okay, yang A masih ada library. Okay, library. B, more books. Okay, books. Return the books. Books here. Meanwhile, option D, nothing. No words from the conversation. So probably that is the correct answer. Now, another one here, on the recording you hear, are you going into the water or are you just going to be there on the sand? I think I need to put on some suntan lotion. Where does this conversation probably take place? Now, you have water, sand, suntan lotion, okay? So, because of lotion maybe, and then you think about beauty salon, no. Sandbox, no. Water, because of water here, or drink, maybe in a restaurant, no. Okay, so at the beach. Ini gampang kita tahu jawabannya karena sini tertulis conversation-nya. Bagaimana nanti kalau you listen to the recording? Okay? Terkadang kita tidak bisa mendengar keseluruhan pertanyaan, keseluruhan kalimat. You understand that? Okay? We just hear, common words we always use that, frequently heard, yang sering kita dengar. Water, sand, lotion, okay? Nanti karena mendengar lotion, and then you think about salon, and then water, restaurant, and then sandbox. No. Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, come on. Questions, please. Hello, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So quiet, it means you have no question. All right. So try to remember. Okay, try to remember. So far, you focus on the second line. Okay. Jawabannya biasanya yang sangat berbeda dari tidak menggunakan kata-kata yang dari percakapan, because the answer is probably a restatement. Okay, a restatement. What does it mean, restatement? Restatement using synonym. Okay, using synonym atau mengubah dari forgot menjadi didn't remember. Jadi walaupun dia menjadi negatif, tapi tetap sama maknanya karena dia menggunakan opposite. The opposite of forget is remember. Jadi remember-nya dinegatifkan, dia menjadi forget. Okay, jadi restatement. And then avoid similar sound. Jadi jangan gara-gara department, jadi ada di option department, oh pasti ini. Okay, mungkin waktu mendengarkan aku nggak dengar D-nya, pastilah ini department karena suaranya bunyinya sama. No, don't choose that. Okay, choose that, the one that is totally different, dan harus bisa membuat kesimpulan, to conclude. Okay, jadi berdasarkan konteks percakapan itu di manakah terjadi, berdasarkan konteks percakapan itu apa yang akan dilakukan next, berdasarkan konteks percakapan itu siapakah pembicara kedua. Okay, jadi tetap pembicara kedua, focus on the second line. Nah, ketika menyimpulkan menyimpulkan apa yang akan dilakukan, menyimpulkan di mana ini percakapan terjadi, tetap juga menggunakan strategi yang sebelumnya. Okay, avoid similar sound, avoid synonym, avoid exact statement. Okay, maksudnya exact word. Jadi kata-kata yang digunakan oleh si pembicara. Jangan pilih kata-kata yang digunakan pembicara karena jawabannya selalu restatement. Am I making myself clear? Can you remember those strategies? Karena masih banyak ini strategies yang lain sebelum kita practice exercise.
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you have any questions, just ask. It's okay.
Sorry, sir.
Yes. Okay. Who is this?
Can you?
What's your name?
My name is Indah.
Indah. Okay. What is your question, Indah?
Can you repeat the explanation about avoid similar sounds?
Avoid similar sounds. Okay. Now, avoid similar sounds maksudnya kata-kata yang bunyinya hampir sama. Jadi di recording, di percakapan nanti kita mendengarkan search, okay, searching, apartment. Nah, terkadang kita miss, okay, tidak mendengar e-nya, hanya mendengarkan men, for example. Saking fokusnya bisa terjadi ya, saking fokusnya jadi miss. Oh, yang terdengarnya cuma men. Oh, men. Oh, di sini option A ada department. Mungkin ini. No. Jadi jangan pilih option yang menggunakan kata yang berbunyi sama. Similar. Similar itu bukan sama ya, mirip. Oke, yang bunyinya mirip. No. Kemudian ini searching, search, research. Ragu lagi. Tadi ada kayaknya dengar search. Oh, mungkin research itu. Enggak kedengaran re-nya. Dipilih ini. Masuk jebakan Batman. Ini appointment lagi. Month, apartment, and then church. Church itu kan hampir sama bunyinya bukan makna ya. Saya tidak berbicara mengenai arti. Search, search. Earth, earth. Oke, search, search. Oke, jadi jangan pilih option-option yang menggunakan kata berbunyi mirip. Karena jawabannya hampir selalu restatement. Restatement itu artinya apa? Menggunakan kata-kata sinonim. Tapi maknanya sama. A place to live itu sama dengan apartment. Searching, synonymous with looking for. Is that clear, Indah?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. What's next? Any other questions, please?
Sorry, sir, can I answer?
Of course you can. What's your name?
My name is Ratu Nurul Aulia, sir, from Bilingual Biology. Here I want to ask.
I cannot see you here on my screen. Nurul?
Ratu Nurul, sir.
Oh, well, Ratu Nurul?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is your question?
Okay, sir. Sometimes we cannot hear what speaker says. So if we talk about the similar gitu ya, sir. Jadi ketika kita mau mencari persamaannya, tapi kita nggak bisa dengar seluruh apa yang speaker itu katakan gitu ya, sir. Apakah ini kembali lagi ke to choose the different one, or we have other strategy? Thank you, sir.
It's back to choose the most different one. Kita tidak mendengar keseluruhan percakapan, tapi kita pasti ingat beberapa kata dan bunyinya.
Yes, sir.
Right? Nah, itu yang makanya balik lagi ke jawabannya itu pasti selalu restatement. Oke, restatement. Jadi menggunakan kata-kata yang berbeda tapi maknanya sama. Dan satu lagi yang avoid similar sounds. This is a very good strategy. Avoid similar sounds. Kita tidak mengerti atau tidak bisa mendengarkan keseluruhan percakapan, tapi di kepala kita itu nempel beberapa bunyi. Oke, beberapa bunyi yang common words. Oke, common words that we know, tapi bunyinya itu mana? Oke, like this, apartment. Oke, jadi sebaik dengar ada men. Kayaknya tadi aku dengar men, apartment. Apakah itu apartment, department? Nah, sebaik ragu, jangan pilih option-option yang menggunakan kata dengan bunyi apartment atau men. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, please? Nothing?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing? Okay. So, next. There is a chat here from Ibu Yuni. Dear students, please fill in the form below. Have you filled in the form?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, passive statement. Now, passive. Ini juga jebakan yang sangat sering ada in TOEFL listening test. Passive statement. If the dialogue contains a passive statement, the answer to the question is often an active statement. Jadi, percakapannya menggunakan passive, jawabannya hampir selalu aktif, kebalikannya. The same, okay? Kalau percakapannya in the conversation, the speakers use an active statement, the answer is often a passive statement. Okay, so for example here, did Sally go to the bank this morning? Yes, she did. She got a new checking account. She got a new checking account. Okay, ini Balik lagi, focus on the second line. Dah kalian fokus, kalian dengar, she got a new checking account. This is active. What does the woman imply? In your textbook, she wrote several checks. Nah ini, similar sound, similar words, di sini checking, check. Kalau saya seperti itu langsung ini eliminated, langsung tereliminasi. She wanted to check up on the bank. Ini sama, check, check, bank, bank. Sepertinya ini mencurigakan. She wanted to check up on the bank. She checked on the balance in her account. Ini juga. Oke, kemudian ini kok ini struktur kalimatnya beda sendiri ya. Passive. Well, probably that is the answer. A new checking account was opened. You got it? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, besides passive, ini juga jebakan Batman berikutnya, expression of agreement. Agreement here, ini bukan me stop ya, me too, okay? Agreement, you can agree to positive statements, you can also agree to negative statements in English. Maksudnya di sini perbedaan our first language, bahasa Indonesia, really influences our understanding to agreement in English. In English, if you agree to a positive statement, then use positive agreement. Okay? So do I, me too, I'll say, okay? Meanwhile, if you want to agree to a negative statement, the way you agree must be also negatively. Okay? Neither do I don't either. In Bahasa Indonesia, well, when I say saya belum makan dan kalian juga belum makan, our expression of agreement, aku belum makan lah, iya, sama. Aku belum, it's negative. But then, iya, yes, me too, sama. That is Bahasa Indonesia. We can use positive agreement to negative statement. In English, you cannot do that. Okay? You must use positive agreement to a positive statement. Negative agreement to a negative statement. Okay? So, let's see here. I think that the hypothesis is indefensible. So do I. What does the woman think? She is unsure about the hypothesis. Ini karena hypothesis ya, dikasih jebakan hypothesis. Similar sound here, tapi sepertinya jauh ya. Hippopotamus is behind the fence. Fence, karena ini defensible, indefensible, fence. She thinks that the hypothesis can be defended, defended. She agrees with the man. Okay, this is the correct answer. Okay, be careful with expression of agreement. Now, that is positive agreement. Now, what about negative agreement? I don't think that our history teacher is very interesting. Neither do I. What does the man mean? He disagrees with the woman. He thinks the history teacher is interesting. He shares the woman's, balik lagi saya banyak mistype. He shares the woman's opinion. He doesn't think the woman's the woman's idea is good. So, again, he disagrees. Oh my goodness. He disagrees with the woman. pasti banyak karena dia, oh, I don't negative, neither negative, jadi disagree. No, the man agree with the woman with this negative statement. It's just the expression of agreement must be negative too. So if you choose this is wrong. Karena sebenarnya si laki-laki ini setuju dengan pendapat si perempuan. Jadi kalau disagree, tidak setuju. So that is the opposite. He thinks the history teacher is interesting. I don't think. Jadi karena pakai interesting here, dipakailah kata yang sama di option D. Interesting. History teacher. Banyak juga terjebak di sini. He doesn't think the woman's idea is good. Doesn't think. Karena di sini kalian pikir, oh neither do I. Sudah banyak belajar structure and written expression. Jadi kalian pikir, neither do I. Oh, this is negative. So must be negative. He doesn't think. Well, he doesn't think the woman's idea is good. What is the woman's idea is good? Here, it is negative, but this is to agree, menyatakan persetujuan dengan opini si woman. So he shares the woman's opinion. Jadi menggunakan kata kerja, verb yang sama sekali tidak diucapkan oleh woman and man here, tapi maknanya menyetujui, setuju dengan, he shares, berbagi. Jadi it means berbagi, the woman's opinion. Berbagi pendapat, it means here, walaupun berbagi, but have the same opinion. Alright? So, careful with agreement. Nah, yang tadi, kalau pasif, berarti jawabannya hampir pasti dalam bentuk aktif. Begitu juga kebalikannya, aktif di conversation, jawabannya hampir selalu yang pasif. Oke, tetap diaplikasikan strategi-strategi sebelumnya. Avoid singular sounds. Answer must be a restatement, not the same word. Any questions, please?
Clear, sir.
It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, expressions of uncertainty and suggestion. Uncertainty, salah satunya uncertainty, isn't it? Tag ending. As far as I know, jadi kalau sudah dibilang as far as I know, jadi maksudnya si speaker itu tidak merasa pasti dengan apa yang akan dikatakannya. As far as I can tell, okay, sementara suggestion, saran, why not go to, it is giving suggestion. Let's do this, it is giving suggestion. So on the recording you hear, do you know anything about the final exam in physics? It's going to be rather difficult, isn't it? Nah, sebaik kalian dengar tag ending, ini namanya tag ending, itu berarti si pembicara tidak begitu yakin apakah final examnya itu akan sulit atau tidak. What does the woman mean? The exam is not going to be difficult. It's not going to, berarti dia merasa yakin kalau sudah menggunakan going to. Tidak akan sulit examnya. No, tidak yakin. Isn't it? She's positive. Ini lagi menunjukkan keyakinan yang sangat. Okay, she's positive that it's going to be hard. Hard is difficult. Jangan terjebak. Oh, kemarin si Mahmud bilang jangan pilih yang kata yang sama. Hard itu kan sinonim dari difficult. Ini restatement. But wait a minute, she's positive. Ini menunjukkan bahwa si wanita ini sangat-sangat yakin. Sementara, isn't it? Like ending, it shows uncertainty. She has no idea about the exam. Ini benar-benar salah. She has idea, but she's not certain. Dia punya ide, tapi tidak begitu yakin dengan ide dia. Okay, she thinks that it might be hard here, difficult. Okay, might be, it shows uncertainty. Jadi penggunaan might or may menunjukkan ketidakpastian, ketidakpastian, uncertainty. Okay, so expressions of uncertainty. Now, what about suggestions? I'll never have time to type my paper tomorrow. Why not do it now? Why not? Let's do it now. What does the woman suggest? Which one? What does the woman suggest?
Finishing the paper today.
Finishing the paper today. Kenapa tidak B? Kenapa tidak C? Kenapa tidak D? Can you explain it to me?
Because the woman suggests to do it now, and the man says do it tomorrow. So now it's meant today.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a very good explanation. Yang lainnya gimana? Do you agree? Siapa tadi?
Agree, sir.
Okay. Who did the explanation? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Emphatic expression of surprise. Okay. How can you express surprise in English? So, have a look. Have a look at the table here. Coba kalian baca dulu. Emphatic form, example, meaning. Okay. Well, we have a suggestion here. Ibu Maya. Where is Ibu Maya? Is she still with us?
Yes, sir.
Ibu Maya? Are you
Ya,
there?
kenapa Pak?
Ada suggestion. The training is good. Why isn't it done offline?
Offline?
Yeah.
Because we don't have the permission to do it offline yet. Nanti kita urus dulu ya. Nah, ini sampai saat ini izinnya masih online karena ini UTBK and prokes
bukan
COVID
yang
sangat
ngasih
ketat.
permisi.
Kenapa?
Bukan ibu yang ngasih permisi.
Enggak, kita punya Satgas
Oh,
COVID,
enggak.
Pak. Karena UTBK ada peraturan tentang COVID, kebetulan juga Satgas COVID juga patroli terus, jadi mau menjaga UTBK dulu kan bersamaan dengan UTBK ya. Nanti kalau misalnya kita berkumpul, harus ada prosedur khusus, termasuk minta izin ke atasan. Jadi karena waktunya mepet, Pak, kemarin juga Jumat ngurus tempat. Jadi hari ini mungkin akan ngurus izin untuk buka kelas offline. Mohon bersabar ya adik-adik ya. Nanti dikabari kalau sudah ada izinnya.
Saya pikir ibu Satgas COVID juga.
Karena kan kita perkirakan 76, Pak, per...
Oh, Bu Maya bukan Satgas
ya,
COVID
kita perkirakan
juga.
pesertanya 76. Jadi menyediakan ruang untuk 76 orang juga agak rumit. Ternyata hari ini hanya 25. Mungkin kalau 25 masih bisa kami akomodir. Gitu, Pak. Nanti dikabari di grup ya, Pak ya.
Ya, Bu. Oke, that is the suggestion Ibu Maya. Saya pikir Ibu Maya Satgas COVID juga.
Satgas COVID, Satgas Malaria, Satgas DBD sekalian, Pak.
Oh, iya. Bu Maya, saya batuk-batuk loh, Bu Maya. Apa ini solusinya?
Nah, ini Pak, air putih dan garam, Pak. Bapak puasa, Pak?
Oh, iya.
Puasa.
Kalau nggak mempan baygon aja sekalian Pak.
Nipis.
Okay. So, selagi Ibu Maya berbicara, did you spend the time reading these expressions of emphatic surprise? Using the, that here he's here. I thought he was not here. That's the meaning. And then you can go. I thought you could not go. Then you do play tennis. I thought you did not play tennis. She did read it. I thought she had not read it. Saya pikir belum dibacanya, tapi ternyata sudah dibacanya. Tapi jadi did ini ditekankan, ada mendapat penekanan dalam percakapan. Okay, she did read it. Okay, you do play tennis. Jadi sebenarnya kan kalau statement yang biasa you play tennis, but using do again to emphasize that you play tennis. So it means I thought, aku pikir sebelumnya you did not play tennis. And then you can't go. You can't go. The emphasis is on the modal verb here, can. If it is a normal statement, can itu tidak mendapat penekanan. You can go. You can go. Okay, can. And then he has gone there. Jadi penekanannya has. He has gone there. I thought he had not gone there before. So expressions of emphatic surprise. Now on the recording, you hear, did you see Paul driving around in his Mustang? Mustang is a type of car. Sepertinya Ibu Maya punya ini Mustang. Then he did get a new car. What had the man thought? He did get a new car. Jadi pikir si pembicara yang laki-laki bahwa dia tidak membeli mobil baru, tapi ternyata dia membeli mobil baru. So in your textbook you read Paul definitely get a Mustang. Nah, jadi ingat lagi strategi sebelumnya, Mustang, pakai kata yang sama. Okay, get. Paul did not know how to drive. Karena driving. Okay, tapi ini pasti nggak ada yang milih ya. Ini sudah betul-betul not here and then drive. Meanwhile here, it is the question, did you see Paul driving? Okay. Paul did not like Mustangs. It doesn't say about like. It's about get, driving. It's about get a new car. And then this one, Paul would not get a new car. So he thought that sebelumnya dia berpikir si Paul tidak akan membeli mobil baru. Ternyata dia beli. He did get a new car. Okay, so that's what had the woman thought. So be careful with these expressions of emphatic surprise. Jadi dia menunjukkan element of surprise dengan menekankan salah satu kata yang diucapkannya. Usually yang ditekan itu verb be, he is here, or you can go, you do play tennis. Jadi memakai do walaupun dia kalimat positif. Oke, jadi dipakai do lagi, menekankan bahwa dia benar bermain tenis. She did read. Oke, again past tense. Sementara kalian tahu untuk past tense kalimat positif tidak memakai did lagi, hanya verbnya read. She read it. Now she did read it. He has gone there. So kalau kalian mendengar penekanan di salah satu kata ini, be, modal, do or does, did or has, itu sudah menunjukkan element of surprise yang artinya the opposite. Okay? Opposite. Not here. You can go, you could not go. You do play tennis. I thought you did not play tennis. She did read it. She had not read it. He has gone there. He had not gone there. Okay. So careful with expressions of surprise. Listen to the emphatic form. Okay. Questions, please. Anything? Any questions, please? Nothing?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing, sir. I think that's
Nothing. Okay. Another expression here that you have to be very careful with, okay, it's wish. Ini seperti hampir sama dengan expressions of surprise, emphatic. Wish juga, kalau sudah ada menggunakan wish, berarti maknanya sebenarnya dia negatif, okay? So for example here, I wish I had time to help. Jadi artinya sebenarnya the real meaning of this statement is the speaker, doesn't have time to help, no time to help. I wish I did not have time to help. Jadi artinya the contrary meaning, time to help. There is time. Well, I do have time to help. Jadi seperti menyesal, okay? I wish he were at home. Berandai-andai. I wish he were at home. Nah, kenapa pakai were? Karena wish. Seharusnya memang kalian tahu sebenarnya he itu kalau untuk past tense pakai was, tapi karena ini pengandaian, I wish. So you grammatically you have to use were for all subjects. Walaupun even though in casual conversations you can still use was for he and she and it when you wish. But this is Toefl test, so it is not casual English test. It is academic formal English test. For formal English test using were for all subjects when you are expressing a wish. Okay, I wish he were at home. It means he's not at home. I wish he had been at home. He was not at home. Jadi kalau sudah ada wish, be careful because the meaning is the opposite. Now, have a look. On the recording you hear, it's too bad that you have to stay here and work during the school break. I really wish I could go with you. Jadi ini saja yang didengar. I really wish I could go with you. Focus on that. So it means the man cannot go. Cannot, what is the synonym of cannot? Unable to go. So maybe he will go. No, this wish I could go. Bukan uncertainty. No, this is not uncertainty. This is about pengandaian, wish. So he's happy to, well, he cannot go. You cannot just see. He's going on the trip, but not go. Definitely not. He's not going because he can't go. So he is unable. Unable is the same as cannot, can't. Is that clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's so clear.
Okay, so it is clear. Any questions before we go to exercise 14? Any questions, please? Hello? Kita masih ada waktu sepertinya because we started the training late, so we can still have the time. Or you want to finish it because it's 11 o'clock already, or almost 3 minutes to 11 o'clock.
Sir, I want to ask you, sir.
Okay, what is the question, please? What is your name? What is your name? Because I cannot.
Cinta Johanna.
Siapa?
Cinta Johanna, sir.
Okay, all right. What is your question, please?
Apakah pada kalimat yang tentang pengandaian itu sir hanya kata we saja, seperti pada emphatic surprise itu juga kata den aja sir, atau ada kata lainnya sir?
Okay, kalimat pengandaian memang tidak hanya wish. Okay, you can also use if I. Okay, tapi kita fokus ke wish dulu. Nanti ada beberapa yang lain lagi pakai if. Right? Very good one. And emphatic expression, these are the main expression. Jadi kalau kalian mendengar nanti, misalnya tenses yang lain, okay, tapi sebenarnya ini sudah mencakup semua rasa saya, okay, karena modal ya bisa saja nanti should, okay. Nah, yang kalian dengarkan itu pada saat percakapan modal verbnya itu mendapat penekanan lebih dari speakernya. Oke, you can go. Karena sebenarnya untuk you can't go. So it's different. If it is a normal statement yang normal, you can go. You can go. Jadi can modal verb itu pada percakapan biasa tidak pernah mendapat penekanan. Jadi seperti dilewatkan saja. You can go. Jadi yang ditekankan itu selalu verb go. Nah, pada saat kalian mendengar can atau modal verb yang lain seperti should, okay, atau yang lain, mendapat penekanan, berarti dia sudah menjadi expression of emphatic, surprise. Emphatic, penekanan. Okay, jadi surprise. Jadi dia berpikir sebelumnya dia tidak bisa pergi. Okay, apalagi kalau present tense dan past tense. Kalau kalimat positif, okay, tidak pernah memakai do atau did. Karena do, does, atau did di past tense hanya untuk kalimat negatif dan kalimat pertanyaan. Tapi kalau sudah dipakai dalam kalimat positif dan mendapat penekanan lagi dari speaker, berarti speaker itu menunjukkan expression of emphatic surprise. Dia berpikir sebelumnya tidak. That's the meaning. Jadi surprise dia. Speaker tahu nggak bisanya main tenis. That's the meaning. Okay. Perfect tense lagi. Perfect tense memang ini kalimat positif ya pasti pakai has, gone. Okay. Tapi kalau speaker menekankan has, jadi has ini sama seperti modal verb. In normal conversation, okay, we don't put an emphasis. Kita tidak membuat penekanan di modal verb dan di kata bantu has. Lalu gone, kata kerjanya yang mendapat penekanan. Tapi kalau kita mendengar speaker menekankan has, kata bantu has atau have, atau menekankan modal verb, berarti sudah menunjukkan element of surprise. Dia berpikir sebelumnya tidak seperti itu. Okay? Is that clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Right. Any other questions, please?
Hello, sir.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Indah.
Okay.
I don't want to ask. Yeah, I don't want to ask, but I want to make sure about the expression of agreement.
Expressions of agreement. Okay. Okay. So.
Yeah. So in the expression of agreement, the K is positive statement along with the positive agreement and negative statement along with the negative agreement. Is it correct, sir?
Yes, negative statement. Kalau mau agree kalau mau setuju dengan negative statement, expressionnya juga harus negative agreement. Oke, misalnya, do you understand that? Do you understand that? Jadi
Yes, sir.
agree, oke, agree. Jadi walaupun dia negative agreement, tapi dia agree ke negative statement, sama-sama agree tentang satu hal yang negatif. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's a very good question. Anything else? Any other questions? Nothing?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Check. Okay, so nanti di session berikutnya, the next session, kita langsung ke exercise 14. Jadi, I hope that you have the time to print out the material, karena lebih enak mengerjakannya kalau di print. Oke, yang ini tadi masih ingat kan? Ini tadi daripada mengerjakannya what is it, on your screen. Do you understand that? If you can print it out, that would be great. Okay, if you can print it out, that would be great. Okay. Any other questions, please? Nothing? So the next session is what time? We start at 1. Okay? We start at 1 and then finishes at 3. So still 2 hours. Okay? So we meet again at 1. All right? Don't be late. So
Yes, sir.
we have more time to talk about many other things. All right? So, all right, bye-bye. If you are not fasting, you can have your lunch, okay? Or you can, have a little break before we continue to the next session. All right? So see you later. Don't go away. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sir Mahmud.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you for today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me.